Are you all right?
No, I'm not all right. I've been stuck to this box for hours now. What took you so long?
Well, I guess you could say I got a little sidetracked. There was an army in my way. Where's Plastro?
He was headed for the last portal.
Well, then that's where we're headed to.
What are you doing? You're not gonna jump. Are you crazy?
Crazy enough to strap my butt to a rocket to save you. Come on, take my hand.
You're out of your mind. I'm not gonna...
You talk too much. Let's go.
Sure know how to show a girl a good time.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Now you know where this last portal is?
Yeah, through that crack and across the...
Great, we could...
What's wrong?
Oh, run! I'll meet you in the portal, just run! Oh, that should buy her some time. Hope she knows where she's headed. 'Cause I sure don't.
Wait, this is supposed to be near Christmas? And why the hell does it look like summer outside? Is this house in Australia or something? Can someone who knows tell me if Australian Christmas decorations involve a lot of snow imagery? As a side note, how will the parents and children react to seeing a good number of broken toys laying all over the place like a miniature Rambo raised hell in the middle of their living room? Sure, it's not like we're setting the house on fire, but it will certainly be strange at any rate. Assuming, of course, that the various enemies disappearing isn't more than just the game designers wanting to save processing power. Maybe it's actually the various soldiers being sent to the afterlife to receive judgment, which kind of puts the whole turning into solid statues thing even more of a terrifying light. Regardless of how torn up their bodies become, they won't be able to pass on. Typically, I don't give a damn about the afterlife, but the idea of being petrified and possibly being aware of everything that goes on around you and to you, yeah, legitimately disturbing. That probably won't happen to us, but I pity pretty much anyone who ends up facing that sort of fate. Anyway, we seem to be running low on rifle ammo, so let's grab some. I don't think I've ever felt this pumped up because of Christmas music before. Maybe it's also the fact that this mission is the second to last one of the game. Still, we've got a lot of enemies to kill before we can finish this one off. And a very strange layout to do it in. Why leave so many unopened presents right next to blocks just laying around? Seriously, Santa could have hurt himself with this many random blocks around. And why are the presents scattered like this? I don't know about you, but one of the main things with the Christmases in my family is the fact that the gifts tend to be clustered together. This cluster of gifts is for you, this cluster is for me, and this small, insignificant one is for Dad. Great. Now I'm tempted to start telling Christmas stories in the middle of a battle. Damn you for making me think of funny tidbits that really wouldn't fit with us killing dozens of people left and right. Speaking of, I should probably face the right direction when we're killing some of these bastards. That's better. If you can ever call getting shot at by machine guns and bazookas better. There we go. I was starting to worry we weren't gonna kill any of them from here and we'd have to try to get in closer. There's one left in this group. Just a few more shots and we can move on. Right. on to the next batch of enemies. Wonder how many more we'll have to take down before we own the couch. Kinda funny, really. I'm the sort of person who it's hard to convince to come to the couch to watch something with a group, even if it's something I like. And unlike a lot of other people, I don't associate it with relaxing. Really, wouldn't it be better to send a couch potato to secure the couch? Yeah, really don't have much to say right now. Fighting for control of a living room that's decorated for Christmas may be an interesting location, but it doesn't really lend itself well to commentary. Though, fighting for control of a bathroom could probably be even worse in that respect. Oh god, don't tell me Plastro is at the toilet. I am the king, and this grand throne is very befitting. Wait, what are you doing? Ah! No, I'm flushing, what a word. Nah. As much humor as this game might be trying to draw, that particular joke just isn't their style. Besides, flushing Plastro down a toilet would make it tough to make an immediate sequel. And while the Army Men series isn't known for paying much attention to continuity, this game does have a direct sequel, Sarge's Heroes 2. But we'll get to that once this game is finished. Though, let's get through with what's left of this game first. Getting through this living room is already tougher than I was expecting. It's not like the enemy is putting up more of a fight than expected for this stage of the game. It's a strange layout for this mission that's making it tougher to think of commentary for. A lot of wide open spaces, plenty of places for the enemy to set up sniping positions, but they didn't do so. Really, this sort of layout would have been more interesting if we had allies and there were more enemies. Seriously, it just doesn't feel right as a mission where we have to go through it with no backup and where the enemy is far more entrenched. Am I the only one that thinks that a fight in a living room ready for Christmas is too unique an environment to have just another solo charge through under 100 enemy troops? I mean, this should be a battle for control for this side of the portal. I know what little story there is in Army Men doesn't give much room for a lot of army against army action. Still, I don't think there's any other game series that would have been able to have a fight in the middle of this kind of environment from a perspective of someone this small. Most of the shooters these days aim for more plausible environments than this. Granted, even the Star Wars universe had more plausible environments than this, and they had a sword fight over a river of lava. I guess the biggest shame isn't so much that we don't get to see this kind of environment much in games, more the fact that 3DO never made a good game. They could think up the concept of a war between a bunch of toy-sized people from another world going through portals, but either didn't have the know-how or weren't given the time to make their games on the same level as things like Mario 64 or GoldenEye. They never pushed the N64 to its limits. They just made something they felt was workable, didn't go through any refining process like playtesting and adjusting the missions accordingly, and then sent it off. And they put even less time and effort into the PlayStation 1 version. Sure, here the auto-aim and manual aim isn't anything amazing, but considering how poorly they pulled those two very important gameplay aspects in a shooting game on the PlayStation 1 version, I'm amazed they even bothered to pay to produce the discs for the system. Okay. Will something please happen to make me stop sounding like I hate this game? At the very least, give us the background music back, please. Good God! The lack of enemies and sound other than my own voice is making this mission feel longer than it actually is. It's a simple concept. If people haven't muted the game, give us something to hear other than the occasional moment of picking up an item. and give us enough enemies to justify having a map this large. It's one of the larger maps in the game. Why does it feel so empty? No, we can't jump high enough to grab the ledge. It's close, though. How long has it been since we heard the Christmas music? Why did it stop? And who thought this long period of silence was a good idea? Assuming it was intentional. Oh, God. Please tell me these guys actually knew how to loop tunes. Please tell me they didn't just assume anyone playing this mission would either finish it or fail within 10 minutes, not thinking to extend the song. I'm really dwelling on the background music, or lack of, a lot more than I would have expected. Sure, the enemies aren't doing anything to really catch our attention other than existing in small squads of less than 5. But I'm really surprised that the music in this mission was the best thing they'd managed to pull off. Now that it's gone, a good deal of the charm is, too. Now it's just another mission that highlights the flaws of the game, just like the prison mission. And unlike that one, the PlayStation 1 version was such a mountain of frustrations that I didn't bother recording anything other than the cutscene. Seriously, how did the game designers decide this game was finished? When missions start feeling like they're dragging on to me, a guy who's crazy enough to play a 3-hour-long StarCraft mission in one sitting, then something's seriously wrong. Shooting us with a bazooka while we're running on a ruler. And still less cheap than the beginning missions of the game. Yeah, I'm never gonna get over the fact that they threw the biggest challenges of the game away at the start and actually let it feel easier after a certain point.
Yeah.
It's just so contrary to what games usually do. A main thing with game design is how it gets harder the further in you go, testing your skills in various interesting ways in order to keep you on your toes. Yet, the two most challenging missions in the game are when we rescue Riff and when we first infiltrated Fort Plastro. Ironically enough, the time it should have been easier to rip through the fort because the enemy set a trap on the other side of the portal. For the most of the game, we tend to be lulled into a sense of superiority over the hordes of enemies and are occasionally reminded that yes, it is theoretically possible for the enemy to kill us. It's pretty sickening that after the hell of the 4th mission, where we barely had the equipment to get the job done, despite being very, very careful with our ammo, and the numerous different, cheap ways the enemy spawned in and tried to kill us, the game tries a grand total of once to match that level of difficulty. It's a cheap trap to try to convince stubborn players who rented this game to buy it later, and the fact that it's so easy to just let memories of that mission run through your head as you're playing a mission this late in the game really tells me they put these things in the wrong order. The 4th and 10th missions of the game should have been the final 2. Considering how much I liked the first mission, and how easy it would have been to give that sort of feeling to this mission, Great. I'm complaining again. Yeah, what to talk about that won't feel like a complaint. I'm a little tempted to rest my voice until something more interesting comes up, but it's been ridiculously quiet since around the point we reached the couch. It's an outright obligation for me to fill in the silence with something. I could try singing a Christmas tune, despite the fact that I'm not a good singer, and I'm not really a fan of Christmas. Seriously, my better Christmases ended at around age 12 for various reasons, and airing those reasons out in this context would be more potentially annoying than having something to talk about for a few more minutes of this mission would be worth. Really, the only Christmas songs I can think of right now are This Is Halloween from Nightmare Before Christmas, which barely fits on the Christmas song, and that movie kind of creeped me out the first time I saw it. Marley and Marley from Muppet Christmas, which really doesn't work when you're singing alone, and White Christmas. As a funny side note, in one of the schools I went to, that song was considered too racist to sing. Yes, they were that ridiculously politically correct. There's got to be some sort of line between being ridiculously paranoid and being legitimately cautious about what you say and where. Anyway, we've just about reached the Christmas tree. The only reason it's taken us this long is this mission is an obstacle course with plenty of deadly drops. I was really hoping we'd gotten past obstacle courses after the training mission. Guess I'm just being hard on this mission because I was expecting something more that we've gotten this close to the end. Maybe I'm just not laughing at a purposeful bit of humor. Most games try to end a game in some sort of epic spot, like a heavily guarded enemy fortress or a flaming pit of hell, occasionally combining the two. This game has it all end in a bathroom. Ah, a flamethrower. Haven't heard one of those in a while. Okay, is the auto aim trying to kill us now? Bloody hell, shooting at enemies we can't see when there's a guy with a bazooka right in front of us! Ah, there's the flamethrower. I'm actually a little disappointed where they put him. Did he actually have a chance to hurt us there? Especially since we were already cautious overhearing him earlier. As a side note, I can't remember the last time we needed to use mortars in this game. Actually, have we used mortars outside the training mission? Hell, I don't even remember the enemy using mortars. Sure, it's got a longer range than grenades, but we don't see the enemy that kind of distance away around here. It can probably ruin tanks, assuming the tank is standing still, or it can accurately time when the mortar will land and where the tank will be. So I have to wonder why this weapon is even in the game, when in practice, it's somehow more useless than the shotgun. Owie! You know, I really wish that explosive damage was a little more consistent in this game. Sure, we can survive 2 bazooka blasts, but I've seen the amount of damage that the first shot does vary a lot in this game. And as another annoyance, where is that shotgunner? He has to be close by. His inaccurate weapons hit us too often for him not to be. Ah, damn this camera. The inability of the audio to give us a general direction of the shot. Wait. When did the music come back? Oh, thank God! The music is back! I don't have to work nearly as hard to enjoy this mission anymore. Granted, this mission should be more challenging, but at least we don't have to go through complete silence anymore. Or the fact that the MIDI rendition of a Christmas tune is the best thing about this mission. Yeah. We'll probably just vaguely remember the general idea of the environment and the song, but not remember anything else about this mission. Wait, scratch that. I'm posting this on YouTube. It's not going to be as easy to forget as a drunken one-night stand. Oh, for the love... Are you guys honestly standing out in the open when over 100 of your friends have been killed by one guy in under an hour? And the second guy didn't even react to the fact that his buddy just got shot twice! I should not feel guilty killing the enemy in the second to last mission of the game. Just how much longer is this mission and this game going to last? I'm not sure how much more I can take. Ah, there we are. The end of the mission. Okay, 2 questions. How does Sarge intend to destroy a portal? And if Plastro absolutely needs the portals, why did he destroy at least 2 of them? Again, this is probably a good deal funnier and better done in the PlayStation 1 cutscene. Well, we'll see that in the next clip. It would have felt weird to use the opening cutscene to a mission at the tail end of another just because the two versions of the game were set up a little differently. And cutting a scene just before the scorecard just felt strange for some reason. Wait. The mission isn't over? We just went through that cutscene, and the mission isn't over yet? Sorry, I'm just a little disoriented after that. Anyway, seems to be a straight path to the door from here. We'll just have to deal with these infantry before we can finish the mission. Probably not a good idea to walk into the fireplace even if the fire is above us. Why is the fire lit anyway? I didn't see any signs that it's winter, or any signs that there are currently humans in the building at the moment. And if you aren't around to enjoy watching it, and there's no need for the extra warmth, having a fire in the fireplace is kind of a waste, regardless of if it's gas-powered or actually burning wood. Now that I think about it, you only really see humans in any way once in the entire Army Men series. And that's a short bit in Sarge's Heroes 2. Granted, it's easy to understand why the series doesn't have either side really interact with humans. Humans would be around the scale of kaiju, if not larger, and would really tip the scales of the war in ways that would be insurmountable. On this side of the portals, anyway. Son of a bitch.
Good to go.
It's been a very long time since a helicopter's committed suicide by crashing into me in this game. And I'm pretty sure it didn't do more damage than the bazooka shot we took to the face earlier. Still, I was wondering why we weren't seeing any armored targets despite us finding some bazooka ammo. Finally, just one more mission to go.